Hello everyone, my name is Rick and welcome back to another figure news update video. So, within the last couple of days, we've had a lot going on. We've had San Diego Comic-Con and Summer Wonder Festival 2024, which have both been a sight to behold. There's so many different figures that have been announced, and honestly, I am glad but also worried about my wallet. So, Hiya Toys decided to showcase their Godzilla Evolved and Shimo at Wonder Festival, which is great. We have more pictures now, in closer pictures in person. Thank you to RX105XI on Instagram. So, here we have a couple of pictures of the Godzilla Evolved from Hiya Toys, and honestly, these pictures are so much better than the promotional pictures that they had taken originally for the figure. And it does seem that they made some changes to the figure. I'm going to put a side-by-side comparison as to how the original pictures that they had for the figure were compared to these. And with these, we can actually see how slim he is. So he's not completely bloated anymore, at least on the bottom section of the actual figure, which is great. He looks a lot more lean, which is what Godzilla Evolved is supposed to be. Now, we also have Shimo over here, and these pictures are absolutely beautiful. I do love how you can actually see the articulated joints as well. There has been some talk about these spikes being chipped off, but that's probably something to do with shipment and being careful with actually taking the figures out of the boxes and whatnot. So I wouldn't really worry about the chipping on these ice spikes for Shimo. So there's that. But honestly, the coloring looks so beautiful on this figure. There are some things that I could kind of nitpick, like for example, these very brown areas here and there, which are very minimal, but I don't really dislike them. They do bring the figure to life, in my opinion. And then just the blue spikes look beautiful. Yeah, it's just a good looking figure for only $60 something, I believe. Which again, mwah, chef's kiss. Now, since everyone is doing it, I'm also going to be doing it too. We have SH MonsterArts, Shimo, and Godzilla Evolved. So, starting with Shimo, again, it's a night and day difference. Here we have some pictures comparing the two. It's completely different. The neck is not as long on the Hiya Toys, and SH MonsterArts does have kind of like the excuse that they use the actual concept art instead of the actual CGI models, which I hate, in my opinion. I don't really like the concept art compared to what Hiya is able to deliver, but it's whatever. So just kind of showcasing it, like you can definitely see that it's a night and day difference. In my opinion, if you combine the spikes for Shimo on the SH MonsterArts with the Hiya Toys paint job, it's going to be a perfect figure. Which I do think that Hiya is going to make a variant of like an ice beam with these type of translucent spikes one day. So yeah, but honestly, you can definitely see how many sort of imperfections the SH MonsterArts has. While there might actually be a little bit better range, for example, right here on the front arms or the front legs, and maybe the torso because there are more cuts, it's so unproportional in my opinion compared to the Hiya. So that's just my opinion on the Shimo for both Hiya and SH MonsterArts. I'm probably still gonna get both just to make a comparison video and have both of them reviewed, but I still have yet to pre-order this girl right here because of how expensive she is. So I might wait until she actually comes out. Now, that's not it. Godzilla Evolved. There has been a lot of talk of how different Godzilla looks because of the face. And that's always been a concern with many people, that the face is not going to look good. And I can definitely see why their worries became more worrisome at this point. So, in terms of sculpt, they're pretty much almost identical. I do think that SH Monster Arts probably has a puffier chest and a broader shoulders as well. But they seem to be about as lean as they should be, realistically. Now, if we try to look at it from like different angles, like you can definitely see that the green they added on the figure is more prominent here, and I'm hoping that that's not the case for the actual release, because it kind of does take you out a little bit. Like, this is very eye-catching, but not in the right ways. Now, here's the whole culprit of the figure. This face does not look that good, and that's because of the paint job. And here's the thing: this is still probably a prototype, but this is a completely different prototype from what they had showcased a couple of months ago, because the paint job on that face was much better. It feels like they didn't even get to actually paint the face here and just put a white sort of wash on it that didn't even get to the teeth. But you can definitely see some of the pink going on the back of the figure. I really do love how his spikes look. I think that's so beautiful, in my opinion. And then again, compared to Hiya's, they are a little bit different, but very similar. It's more of a vibrant pink for Tamashii / Bandai, and more of a regular pink for Hiya, which I have no issue with. And there are some people that are just like kind of concerned about it, and I do definitely see it. So I will say that in terms of, I did make a video on like Hiya wins because of how good their future releases are compared to Bandai, and how quote unquote lazy they have been lately. So for Shimo, I can definitely see why people definitely hate it, and I 100% agree. Something that I'm noticing now, this one has an elbow joint, while this one might not even have it. So hopefully that's not the case. But yeah, in Shimo, Hiya definitely takes the cake. But for Godzilla, I think it's a little bit closer now. Before, based on promotional images that they released earlier on the original announcement for Godzilla, he looked perfect. But I think Hiya has been doing some fixes here and there where he actually looks really good. And honestly, I don't mind. I like how both of these figures are looking. I'm just hoping that this face doesn't come like this in the actual production images, or not images, but the actual production of the figure. And they kind of step back away from using so much green throughout the figure. But that is just my opinion. I would like to know what you guys think about these figures down in the comments. I know there's been a lot of comments in the previous video, so yeah. Final opinion of mine, I think they're both good in their own merits, but I do think that Tamashii is charging a little bit too much. They're definitely overcharging for both figures, not only Shimo, but also Godzilla. And then Hiya does have the affordability factor. But yeah, again, shout out to this person on Instagram, rx underscore 105 underscore x dot xi add dot g. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But yeah, again, let me know what you guys think. But I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.